Show, PeterG Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, PeterG Show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey everybody, Sunday night, right here, Life of PeterG, the PeterG Show, back in the saddle, back in LACA. I'm not gonna lie, it's good. I enjoyed the hell out of being in the Gulf Coast, but home base, just more comfortable. I mean, it was weird getting used to different stuff over there for the show. The rest of the stuff after the show, it's like, that's my playground. Not a problem. But doing the show, it's a little funky. It's, remote. A lot of different getting used to things. And now that I'm back and we sat down a few days ago, and it's like, holy crap, this looks like I forgot. But still going. And naturally, here comes the sound. Take a minute, let it all set in. It's going to be a fun night tonight. I promise you that. Don't forget to like and share, everybody. Super important. Sharing is caring. Anyway, it's been a great half a summer over there. But it was time to get back to business. I could have stayed there, but you start slipping into La La Land. You know, it's like you start losing the plot. I was just getting to the point where I was starting to really enjoy myself. And believe me, there's a lot of work involved too, right? I told you that last time. But you have to keep. Yeah, there's got to be a balance somewhere, and I've been very fortunate enough through life to not lose the plot. But anyway, tonight's going to be fun. Speaking of which, reality. While I'm here, one of the first few things I had to go do was had to go fill up my vehicle with gasoline. Now, I like trucks. I drive a truck. It's my car. It's not like, I don't go mudding in it. There's no mud out here anyway. It's dry. But it's got a big gas tank because it's a big truck, and it drinks a lot of gas. And I went to go put gas in my tank over here in California. Cost me about $140 to fill up my tank, which doesn't make me go farther for that amount of money. In fact, I don't really drive a lot lately. So I probably, with that $140, I probably get about 300 miles in this, because I'm doing mostly city driving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just kind of keeping it on the down low. $140 friggin' dollars. Now, granted, I have a 30-gallon gas tank, but I didn't even have to fill it. It wasn't empty. Put about 23 gallons in. $140 friggin' dollars, people. How do you like your life so far, the way things are going? Now, I can get on one of those rants, but I'm going to save that because August, we have a lot of that stuff coming up. But, Anyway, I might get into that tonight a little bit. Depends. But tonight, I just had to throw that in because that, to me, that was, I was buying gas in the Gulf Coast. I mean, I get it, but I didn't have a 30-gallon gas tank in the Gulf Coast. I had a 16 or 18-gallon gas tank in the Gulf Coast. And it was like, ouch. And everything, by the way, everything is about $1 plus a gallon less over there than it is here. Why? Don't know. Again, don't get me started. We can go all night on this shit. I tell you, it's really great to be here. It is. It's going to be a great night tonight. Last week's 4th of July weekend, I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I continue to remind everybody that, it's not about the hot dogs and hamburgers. There's, especially now in the times that we're living in, I mean, it's important stuff. I took the weekend off. I was in just finishing up what was left of what I love having fun. And then we were traveling and things like that. But 4th of July. Seems like a lot of people are wanting to take even 4th of July and just erase it. And I just want to take a bat to their face. So I don't understand what's going on. I hope that most of you are coherent. And, I have very close friends that are opposite thinkers of the way I think. But we still remain friends, fortunately. We don't talk about a lot of this stuff, but I have to talk about it because I've also learned you don't know what you don't know. Not that I know everything, because I don't know a damn thing. That's for sure. But when you live long enough on this planet, you kind of start to figure things out. And there's some things that I would have never thought in our lifetime that we're going through. And we cannot forget what we're here for and what we stand for. We're in the greatest country in the world, supposed to be. And just life's going to hell. So just think before you make decisions. Do a little bit of research. Don't believe everything you read, especially everything you see on TV, especially. Again, coming in August, we're going to get into all that stuff. Right now, that was anyway, 4th of July. I wish and I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend. Next week, go figure, gambling addiction. I would have never thought about gambling addiction, but I'm going to have Arnie and Sheila Wexler and Steve Jacobson. They wrote a book, All Bets Are Off. I never thought about it, but gambling addiction, hey, that's an addiction. People die from gambling. They swim with the fishes. Get in over your head. Anyway, we're going to talk about gambling addiction with these guys. I never considered it. I just did, and they came to me, and they, and I thought about it, once again, I can't think of everything, but they knew better. And we're going to talk about it because I guarantee you there's a bunch of people in this position. All bets are off. Gambling addiction next week, folks. You are not going to want to, again, I'm interested, so stay tuned. This week, tonight, we're going to have some fun tonight. Tonight I have TikTok sensation, and again, because I became a fan, and I'm not a big TikToker, my daughter is, but, it's the truth. You start watching that shit, and then 4 hours later, you're still watching it and going, I got to get going. I got things to do. But I found this guy on TikTok, and let's just say I can kind of relate. But he's really, he doesn't hold back, and he really tells it like it is. And I thought about it, and I go, I can relate, and I think there's a lot of people that can, and I want to have him on the show. And I reached out, and he graciously said yes. He knows what I do, and he still said yes. So we're going to have some fun. TikTok sensation, my dad, 317, Mr. Steve Corsey, car guy. Why? I'm going to ask, why people hate having to go through the process of buying a car at a dealership. Why is it such a pain in the ass? And he's a 30-plus year car veteran. He loves what he does. God bless him. Because I can't figure it out, but we'll get into that. And we're going to have some fun with that. But before we have some fun with that, speaking of loving what we do, I love what I do. And Bolt Energy, people. Bolt Energy. I want Pepsi and myself to tell you about Bolt Energy. Electrify your senses because, as I said, they know what I do. And they still sponsor me, so let's get something from Pepsi right here and myself, and we'll be right back. And we're going to bring Mr. Steve Corsey, my dad, 317, TikTok sensation, car guy, in a minute or so. Hang on. Hey, everybody, PeterG here from the PeterG Show with my friend Pepsi. Hey, Pepsi.
Hey.
We're here to tell you about our beloved Bolt Energy. That's right. Why Bolt Energy, Pepsi?
Why Bolt Energy?
Electrify your senses.
Electrify.
It's got no preservatives. Top that.
Top that.
No preservatives. It's enriched with antioxidants and vitamins.
Antioxidants.
It's a cleaner energy drink,
Clean.
Pepsi. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
And believe it or not, it tastes great.
Tastes great.
What's your take on this?
Nothing more American than baseball, apple pie, and
Bolt Energy. So ask for it in stores. Tell them the PeterG Show sent you and get you some Bolt Energy. We love you guys. Peace. That's right. Bolt Energy. Love Bolt Energy. Just got through talking to them. They were in Vegas, the UFC fight last night. Everybody was there, including Donald Trump, I don't know if you saw any of those videos. People were chanting for him. It's not me. You know, I'm not the crazy one. But I just see what I see. Again, $140 to fill up my gas tank. Pisses me off. Anyway. All right. So without further ado, I think that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to bring on... You ready, Steve? Okay. He says, I think he said either that or he was just got a nervous twitch going on, one or the other. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring on my new friend, Carguy, TikTok sensation, my dad, 317, Mr. Steve Corsey. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
What's going on, Peter?
Well, again, it's all you tonight, my friend.
Great.
Yeah, it's all you tonight. As I don't know if you were listening, but I kind of told people that you're what, a 30-year...
33.
30? Oof.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And you're still alive. Car veteran, right?
Yep.
Been in the business. You're an East Coast guy, correct?
Correct. South Jersey, greatest half state in the country.
Yeah, I lived over there on 33rd and 3rd, you know?
That's North Jersey, those knuckleheads up there.
Ah, shit. What can I tell you? So I kind of stumbled onto you several years ago. Not several years ago, probably a year and a half ago. Is that about how long you been on TikTok?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah. And I don't know how the hell, again, I'm just scrambling through things and I'm just watching and I'm going, wow. I mean, because you just kind of like tell it like it is. I mean, you give scenarios. I mean, and again, being in the business, and I have a few clips of yours, and we'll in a minute we'll play one, and we'll kind of base everything off of that because, you know, I think buying a car is a really pain in the ass process. I don't know why it has to be so tedious, long, and grueling. And a lot of people, I think, agree with me about that stuff. And you as a salesman, it's like, you know, have to go through all that shit too. And you know, there's pros and cons on both sides. And we're going to talk about that. My
job's to knock those walls down and make it fun.
Well, I hear you, but I don't think everybody may be as good as you.
True.
You know, I mean, it's very true. But because I've met a lot of people and I've talked to a lot of people and they go, oh my God, I can't, you know, and you have to have a car, and that's the God-given truth. You know, people have to buy cars, but it's a lot of them go, I can't stand going to a dealership. It's like, why does it have to be this difficult?
Why? Most of the time they're just not prepared for that situation.
I understand, but it is kind of, there's a process, and it's a long process. It's not so simple, right?
No, it's not like Walmart. You can't walk in and just scan it and go. I mean, you got banking to do. You got motor vehicle to do. You know, it's a whole process. If you got to trade in, it adds more time. You got to get it appraised. It is a process, but if you allow the salesman to go through that process, it goes a lot smoother. But a lot of time they put the blocks on it. They put up a bunch of objections that are really a bunch of horse shit, but they're just objections to not buy.
I get it.
They have to buy.
But they need a car. And that's the thing. We're going to talk about all that in a minute. But first, here's what I want to do. If you don't mind, I'd like to play, let me see, where are we? I'd like to play a clip that I snatched off of your TikTok. And this is
day in the life as a car salesman.
Yeah, and this is going to be a typical example. And don't ask me how I know, but I just know. And this is a day in the life and a typical example of you having to go through the process and all the crap. And again, and they look at you like, you know, they have no clue and they're just running you ragged. So here we go. Yeah, check this out.
Back and forth 6 freaking times, moving 6 cars out, drive them all. Just pick out a fucking car, for Christ's sake. Hey, Mr. Johnson, got the keys for you. Boy, cold out there. 6 cars. You guys want coffee? What do you want my business card for? You're not getting my business card. We're doing this now. Talk to your wife. About what? This is about you, Bob. About you. Now put on those big boy pants. You show her who's the boss of that house. Check with your bank. That's a bunch of bullshit, Bob. What are you going to save, 2 points? Change your payment by $8. You want to do all that work for $8, Bob? I'll tell you what, you keep your $1,000 down. I'll do the deal with 0 down. Just give me a check for $3,000 to cover your tax and tags, and I'll keep your payment the same. It's a win-win. And you save $1,000, Bob. No, I'm not fixing a bumper, Bob. And definitely not. It comes with one key. Congratulations. You have your insurance card?
And there you have it.
I got to tell you, I end all my sales. My whole career ended the same exact way. Do you have your business? You have your insurance card on you?
Yeah, no, I
First
get
thing you
it.
said.
But again, getting to that point, you just when your video first opened up, moving 6 cars, people come in. It's like they have nothing else in their life to do, and they take up all your time.
I never looked at it like that. That it's their time.
It's their time.
Yeah, they would never see that in real life. You know what I mean? That's just me talking to my head.
No, but that's true.
The customer will never see that from me. You got to do what you got to do to move that car. It's end of story. You know, hell and high water. Everybody in that dealership works for you. So if it takes 6 cars to move, you got to do it.
I get it. But again, moving and how about a lot again? You got people that they're very the people that walk onto the lot and they're very standoffish because you're a sleazy car salesman. So what happens? Right. How do you break down those walls?
Slowly, slowly. But they come around. They do.
Well, because again, people do have to have a car. They got to buy a car, and there's some people. I'm sure that no matter how hard you try, they end up backing out, leaving, and then somehow or another going someplace else. And just because they're there, not that they got a better deal or any of that, but they happen to end up somewhere else and going, well, screw it, I'm burned out, and they end up buying a car, no matter what your efforts are.
That happens, but one thing holds true in the car business: if that sale doesn't work, you did that. And if the sale does work, you did that too. Because they didn't come there to buy pizza. They came there to buy a car. The moment they pulled in that parking lot, they committed to buying a car.
What about the looky-loos? I mean, you got people that are just, they're coming in and they're kind of, and they're just starting and I'm just looking and you're just selling.
You got to slow down. You got to slow them down.
Wow. I mean, a lot of people, are very skittish because, yes, you've been in the car business long enough. So there was a heyday back in the 80s, and I guess you were involved in that, were you? 90s?
Back in the 70s.
70s, wow.
That was the birth of a sleazy salesman. You know why it was like that? Because back in the day, we owned the whole world. We told the customer what the price was. There was no books out there to tell you what the value was. So we could write our own numbers. There was no banks out there that told you this is the most we're going to give you. The manufacturer, they just delivered the cars. Right. And like I said, right now, today, that's all gone. The banks tell you what they're going to give you. The customer knows everything now. And the manufacturer, they're holding your money over their head with the surveys. So,
yeah, there you go.
So those days are gone.
Well, so let's talk about that because, again, first of all, from a salesman's point of view, it's you got the customer thinking that they're going to get burned, that they're getting ready to get reamed by a car salesman, and then you got a salesman that's saying buyers are liars.
Yeah, it's the saying in the car business.
I mean, okay, why?
They're not really lying; they're just basically making up stories to get out of there. To get away from that commitment they're about to do. Nobody wants to sign a 7-year contract, but they're about to. So they come up with every reason under the sun to leave. That's where that term comes from.
But if you have to have a car, you have to have a car. If you're buying a car, you got to buy a car. What are you going to do? You can back out and then never buy a car?
They will in their time. That's the part where you got to slow them down. If you push them through the process, they're going to run every time.
Wow.
See, so that's the saying, slow them down.
I always thought that the customers, the problem with customers is they think you're making too much money. They think you're making money like a realtor. You're making commission. Let's say the car's $50,000. You're making a commission on $50,000. Farthest from the truth.
Yeah, people have that stigma. That's not even close to the truth. But we get paid purely on profit. Whatever the profit of that sale is, end of story. There's nothing else you get paid on. There's no salary, profit. So our job is to hold as much profit as possible.
Hence, people like making up numbers out of the sky, pulling numbers. Is like, how do you defend? Because again, as a buyer, great. I mean, everybody wants a good deal. I'm sure you, even as a salesman, when you go and do things, you want a good deal. Who doesn't want a good deal? I mean, you can't blame anybody.
It's actually the opposite. I'm a lay down.
Oh my God. I've heard that.
Most salesmen are lay downs, believe it or not.
Define a lay down for the normal people in this world.
Pretty much, they show you something, you go, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, just because you don't want to go through all that crap, right?
I don't want to put them through it.
Yeah, you don't put them through it. But I mean, yeah, I've heard that a lot. But here's the thing. I mean, a lot of people, they get in, and then with a car dealership, and then it's like they know this process. They've done it. Most people who have had 1 or 2, 3 cars in their lives, and they go, okay, look. I don't want to go through I'm going to do this. You're going to hit me high. I'm going to hit you low. You got to talk to your manager. Then your manager's going to come and he's going to put the clamps down on it. People don't like that stuff. I mean, a lot of people don't like that stuff. I mean, how do you deal with that?
You can't be the man behind the curtains. The salesman can't be the guy who discounts the car. You always got to have a guy behind the curtains. My guy behind the curtains always went behind the building and had a cigarette. Then I would come back and say, listen, here's what he can do.
I mean,
but you can never be the guy doing the discounting.
And why is that? Well, I mean, why does it have to be that way?
You're supposed to be working for the customer.
I get it, but I'm talking about look, most places you were talking about. Was it you that just said Walmart? You just go and buy something, scan it, and check out. I mean, I know Saturn. I saw that in one of your clips once. Saturn said, this is what the car price is going to be. How'd
that work out?
Why? No, but why is that such a bad idea?
You can't do that because I'll tell you exactly why. You can take a used car and line 15 people up.
Yeah, new.
And ask them to give you a price of that car.
Yes.
You get 17 different answers.
Okay, but Saturn was selling new cars. It was the new car price. Now they're all exactly the same, depending on what features and things it has on it. Why can't there be a steady price? They make their money. They set a price. They make their money. You know what you're getting into. You either buy it or you don't. Why is that so freaking hard?
I don't know. I can't. I can imagine losing that ability to negotiate a better price. It's the last thing on the planet you can negotiate.
Oh, I understand, but why go through the hassle? It's just like either buy it or don't freaking buy it. Thank you. Goodbye.
Right.
I mean,
I was going to make up shirts that says "embrace the haggle."
I mean, if you're Middle Eastern or something like that, growing up, my father was Greek, and my father even negotiated on their headstone for their I swear to God, because this is a true story. Because my mother passed away first, and so he went down and talked to the company that makes headstones.
That's freaking hilarious.
This is a true story, and my father's he's not tight, but he still is old school. He's old school. He was 92 years old when he passed away, and so but he went down there, and it was a double headstone. So someday that headstone is going to be part of his, which it is now. And I remember when I was. I finally picked up the phone. I'm going, there's no way you could have gotten it for that much, because he got a really great deal as far as I was concerned.
Now, does that make him cheap or thrifty?
Thrifty, but the thing is, it's just like, in the day, everything was negotiable. And nowadays it's like, here it is, come and get it. Buy it or not, Amazon. Buy it or don't buy it. Simple. You know what I mean?
God, does Amazon sell headstones now?
Well, I know they sell, coffins and things like that. Sure, probably. But the thing was, so I called the guy. I called him, and he goes, your father's a really good negotiator. And I was shocked because I never used to deal with my father with that kind of stuff, and they were just normal folks. They didn't buy a lot of stuff as they got older, so you didn't see that very often. But he negotiated a pretty good deal for a headstone. But the thing is with cars, I mean, people, it's an 8-hour process or, listen, I'm sure there's people, because believe me, I'm the kind of guy, if I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to look ahead of time. Before I walk into that dealership, I am not going there to just be looking.
That's right.
Well, but there's so many people that will just waste your friggin' time because they want to touch, and I get it, they want to touch, they want to feel. But the thing is, when you narrow it down, and there's a lot of people, I've heard people going, yeah, I go, I'm about 2 years out. What do you do besides cut them loose? I'm 2 years out. It's like, what the hell are you thinking, Bob?
Right. Or that product that's coming out a year from now, they want information on. Get the fuck out.
Well, there you go. But again, I would never walk into a dealership unless I knew I'm getting ready to throw down on a car. And then you do have those sales. I'm sure you have those sales with those people. They know exactly what they want. They already looked. They found what they wanted, and they came in. And it's like, okay, you go back and forth a little bit, and boom, you got a deal. And you go home at night going, why can't every day be like that? But it's not.
Well, you earn that lay down. You earn that guy by going through all the crap that you go through. You deserve that guy.
Yeah, but 1 in every 20.
It's okay.
It's like, come on,
Yeah.
life is too short.
Yeah,
Because
I prided myself on taking those people that had all the internet information or all the information they have, and then having them leave in a car they never came in on.
That's a nice feeling, I'm sure, too. But the thing is, I mean, you've been in the business a long time, so you're probably really very good at what you do. But there's a lot of people in the business, and that are just along. They're just kind of doing what they're doing, and they're okay. They're mediocre. They do their job, but I call it the 80-20. You got that 20% of people that are killing it, and the other 80 they're surviving. It's a job, and you have to live there, and you're doing it, but you're not that 20%.
Can I tell you a story that a guy told me in 1988 when I was a rookie?
Yeah.
That changed everything, man.
Yeah.
His name was Marty Lustgarten, Martin Dealerships. And I met him as a rookie. And he asked me if the owner was in. And I said, no, he just left. I said, are you the owner? And he says, no, son, you're the owner. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, I provide you with a desk, a telephone, and all this inventory. He said, I got mechanics that'll fix your cars. I got detail boys, lot boys, management staff to order your cars, get them bought at the bank. And I got receptionists back there to answer your phones for you. And also got people to do your payroll and your motor vehicle work. Everyone in this building works for you. In a respectful way, everyone works for you so you can sell a car, including me. I own the place, and I'm providing everything here for you. It didn't cost you a dime, and you got a multi-million-dollar car dealership. And you get to keep 25% of everything you do. You're in business for yourself, kid. And I never looked back. I committed to what I was doing. And that's how you become successful in anything in life. The moment you commit to being a salesman, I don't care if you're a trash man. The moment you commit to being a trash man, that's when you'll succeed to be the best.
Okay. And what about all these people? I mean, the people that have made the business to where it's earned that badge of a bunch of sleazeballs. How do you overcome that?
You know what? Every business has that. Lawyers have it. Priests have it. Every business out there.
Absolutely. But for some reason, the car business is just got, you just hear it a lot. I mean, yeah, get that point too, but it's that overcoming of until you break people down and you go, no, I'm not that guy. I'm here to help you buy a car. But until you get there, the walls are up. You're slowly breaking.
Correct.
Wow.
That's correct. There's only one business that has more walls than we do, and that's the timeshare industry.
Ugh.
But that's 100%.
Do they even sell timeshares anymore? Most people are just getting out of them.
Sure.
Yeah? Who's stupid enough to do that?
Believe me, they're out there. Millions.
Wow.
I worked for a company for a year and getting people out of timeshare. Wow. And man, I learned a lot about that industry. I don't even want to talk about that.
I can tell about getting out of timeshares because back in the day, I mean, I remember, and this is probably going back to the 70s or so, when it was kind of a cool thing. Hey, you own a part of it, but then it really became. You found out how uncool it was, and
that's the most powerful contract on the planet.
Really,
that says you're going to pay me the rest of your life, and when you die, your kids are going to pay me.
Wow. That's here's what I want to do before I forget. I'm going to, we actually have phone lines, and I'm going to put it out. If anybody wants to talk to my dad, 317, Mr. Steve Corsey, 818-259-7983. Not sure. I call my people the greatest lurkers in the world. They love to watch. Yeah, honestly, it's the truth. They want to watch and see who else is going to do something. So they may or may not call, but I'm going to put it out there anyway, and I think the phones will work. We haven't tried them yet, but they worked when we were here last time, 2 months ago. And if anybody has any questions for Steve, 818-259-7983. I want to play another clip because this is again this stuff kind of just, I don't know, it's near and dear to my heart, kind of, in a weird kind of way. And we'll talk about this part in a second. So here, you watch this and we'll talk about it.
What's that measuring up at?
46.
46. Freaking serious. Sleeting out here. Cola's a bitch. He wants to measure it up, see if his golf clubs will fit. How the fuck do golf clubs not fit in a goddamn Tahoe? Bullshit. All right, Jack, that was fun. Golf clubs fit. Let's go over the price. What do you mean you just wanted to see if the golf clubs would fit? What do you mean just looking? Think about it. What's there to think about? I didn't give you numbers yet. When you go home and think about it, what exactly are you thinking about? Talk it over with your wife. Does she know you're here? Besides, I thought this was for you and your golfing buddies. Talk to your credit union. We got financing right here on the premises. What do you mean you want to go to another dealership? What are you cutting me out of the loop for? I work here. You seriously want to keep doing this? Don't you want to wake up tomorrow and not to do this anymore? Jesus. Congratulations. Beautiful truck. Do you have your insurance card on you?
And there you have it. Now let's go from the beginning of that little clip. God knows how many customers you've probably had in your lifetime that come there with their tape measures.
Yeah. Happens all the time. Mostly with Dodge customers.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. They're my favorite customers of all time.
Why is that?
Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep.
Why?
You can say shoot. You can just say shoot, shit, fart, fuck with them. They don't care.
Okay.
They just want a good deal, and I'll invite you to their house for a barbecue.
Okay, but how do they know what a good deal is? What's a good deal?
They don't. They just want to find somebody they like and they want to buy a car from. They're not that Honda buyer, that
Toyota.
Audi buyer. They're down to earth people. They're good,
Really?
solid, blue collar, my kind of people.
Ford,
same way.
Here's the thing. My ex would just go. I mean, one day many years ago, I wanted a Harley Davidson Ford F-150. You know, one of their signature series back in the day, probably 2003, 2002. And one day she goes, well, let's just stop in and go look and go see. Because in my mind, I wanted to buy one that was pre-owned. I did not want to buy a new vehicle. And before long, she gets so into the whole thing because she's very you would love her because she's very impulsive. She's an impulse buyer. So one minute we're looking, and all of a sudden she's freaking negotiating with the guy. I'm going, whoa, slow it down. It's like I don't. It's my truck, and she's buying, going for a truck. But that's the whole thing. It's like
our conversation with you, sir, is over. I'm talking to your wife now.
Exactly. I mean, normally it's the opposite, right? And they get pissed off. They go, you don't know who to talk to. Who's the boss? She would have bought that damn truck had I not stopped her. And but the thing is, how do you deal with all that stuff? I mean, they're coming in and it's like, what's a good price? And so she would throw a number out of the blue in her head. That was the whole thing. It's like there was no gauge. It was just an obvious, like you just say, I want $5,000 off or whatever. How do you deal with that?
You know what? A good deal is a state of mind. There's no such number that is a true. That's a great deal. A good deal is 100% state of mind. That's what pisses me off about, like when people buy a car and they go home, instead of the jerk off saying, you know what, congratulations on your purchase, they have to put them down and say, oh, you could have saved more. You did this wrong. Then they call you up the next day and they have the buyer's remorse that was created by some idiot that wasn't there the whole time. Never can stand that.
Okay, so let's talk about that too. What about when you have the customer that has somebody talking in their ear, making that phone call? They're calling somebody.
I don't talk to anybody over the phone, first of all. When I come in, we'll talk. But my first thing to that guy, I shut them right down. I said, listen, I'll talk to you about politics, religion. I don't care what it is, the topic. But I will not talk to you about ownership. I sold the car to this lady. I didn't sell you a car.
Well, she's
So I shut them right off. They're out.
But she's making the phone call and she's talking to them. They're not talking to you, and he's guiding her on the phone and really throwing a wrench in the fan.
And I'll crush him in defense of my customer who left yesterday feeling really good, and now look what you've done to her. I'll put it back on them. You know, that customer was happy. And a good deal really is a state of mind. There's no number out there that's like, that's the number. They're all different. That's why I told you, 15 people will give you 17 different answers of a value of a car.
Let's talk about this. Used cars have, different values everywhere. Why is it nowadays I see used cars are more a set price than a new car?
Internet caused that.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, you can't advertise your worst price online. The whole world's looking at it.
Right.
So they usually put them out. They usually put them out there on loser numbers. So they're losing money. But they're hoping to do is sell you back end product, warranties, gap, stuff like that. But the internet prices are usually loser prices. And they stick to them because they're losing money. So that's why they're pretty much set now. That's what happened there.
Okay, so which you just led me into a question that I wanted to ask you and forgot all about. So it's like a process of getting reamed, as far as I'm concerned. Not reamed, but the process is like, okay, I just had a shot at you. Let's go next. You're going to go into the finance office where they're now going to try. It's like, I hope your butt isn't as sore because we still have a good shot at you. We're going to sell you more stuff or attempt to sell you more stuff. And I got to tell you, I'm a kind of late at the time. All I wanted to know was that my car was going to be good for the amount of time while I was paying for it. And I've bought warranties before in finance, and I'd never really negotiated on warranties, which I know that you can to a certain extent, because I just wanted to make sure that if my car broke while I was paying for it, I didn't want to put nothing out of pocket and whatever.
Let me tell you something. That's the part of the business that grinds me, because that's changed over the years. Back in the day, the finance manager used to be a god. I mean, the banks used to wine and dine them, take them out to, just wine and dine the business manager because he sold product. He sold warranties, gap, etch, all that stuff. That finance manager was a salesman, and he sold all that stuff. Today, the managers kind of pack the payments on the salesman. Salesman doesn't really know it, but they're adding $10, $20 to the payment as a cushion for the finance manager to sell his shit. So that stuff didn't happen back in the day. You used to have strong managers back there. Well, now today's a little bit different.
And what about being a strong finance manager? Selling your that's their job. Why is it? But you're pushing it back on other people.
Well, they're using the salesman. They're stealing from the salesman is what they're doing. That's the part that pisses me off about the business. And I'm in the business, so I can talk shit on it.
Well, it's okay. I mean, and that's why we're talking about it, because you can talk shit about it. I don't know what goes on over in your end of the woods, but a lot of the dealerships nowadays that I bump into, when you buy a car, after you buy the car, they sit down and tell you, oh, by the way, we have add-ons on the car. And this is already on the car, and you're going to have to buy it because it's on the car already. I'm talking about $10, edging, door edges for $500 warranty and things like that. What do you feel about all that crap?
I'm okay with it. It's the dealership's car, not, ultimately it's their car. They can do what they want with it. You know what I mean? But they want to add those things on, they can. But
you got a customer, and you're kind of working for that customer, and yet all of a sudden you got objections going on because not only did they add on $500 for door edges and door fingernail scratch, clear little pieces of plastic. Okay. But
let me ask you a question. If I gave you all that stuff, would you take it for nothing, for free? Would you take it?
Well, yes.
Okay, well then there must be some value there.
Really? To who?
You just said you would take it.
I would take it because I don't want to pay for it. It's not that big a deal for me. I don't want to. I wouldn't have put it on in my car if I did. I don't know what they call it, permaplate, all that coatings,
undercoating, all that shit.
Oh yeah, okay. That's because it's like, all right, look, I want to buy your car, but now you're really starting to, now here comes the part where you're bending me over.
Okay, well, if I took that off and I gave it to you the price for the sticker on there, use it as a closing tool. You know what I mean? You can close people with it too.
look, again, I'm not cheap. I'm just reasonable.
No, I get it.
I'm reasonable. It's like I understand.
$200 pinstripe's not cheap.
I don't know. I'm just. It's. You know,
Even that's changed over the years. We used to have the guy do the hand painting.
Of
we used
what?
to hand paint the pinstripes.
The pin. Yeah, but
It was real paint. It wasn't a sticker.
right.
You know, that was nice. I mean, people like that. Today it's a sticker. So
Okay, but the thing is, isn't that usually come on with the manufacturer?
no,
Oh, what really? They do pinstripes still to this day?
absolutely,
Really?
absolutely. That guy'll stripe 50 cars in one day.
I've never seen it.
Every day they're there.
Wow.
You got so many guys in the car business. You got the pinstripe guy. You got the dent guy. You got the glass guy. You got the leak guy for the sunroofs.
Yes.
You got the
But those are guys that fix things to make the cars sellable, which has nothing to do with the purchase.
correct.
Except
But it still costs money.
it does cost money because if there's dents in the car, I mean, people don't want dents, but
That's
the thing is-
correct.
but that is not. You're not selling that with. I mean, that's in the price of the car, regardless. They chose to fix that car to take that dent
So we
out.
can get more money on the sale. When we can ask for more money.
But it's still in the price when you go there. That's the price of the car, not after you buy the car and it's like, here's your car, tax, license, registration, and again, Florida and stuff has some really bad packing and things like that, from what I
Sure they
understand.
do.
And by the way, and there's also, we have a few add-ons that are on the car, and it's really a great thing to have. And people going, whoa! There's $1,500 tacked onto this car that I was prepared to spend. Yeah, look at you laughing. $1,500, and it's like, I don't want that. And you know, it's like, well, it's already on the car. It's like, whoop-de friggin' do, it's already on the car. I'm buying the car, and this is from your personal dealership. You know, you're forcing this shit down my throat. How do you?
I'm not. That's the owner. He bought the car. He put that stuff on there. It's his car.
Okay. So then they go, well, I don't. You know, how do you? Like, I don't want it. Then I don't want it, and they walk out.
Nobody walks out on that.
I
You're
beg.
not going to walk on that.
Really, $1,500? You don't think that makes a difference in people's lives? Some people.
Oh, huge difference.
Okay.
Huge difference. But if you don't see the value there, then we'll work on that on discounting. You know,
Because especially
what kind of value do you think that has, and what do you feel? What do you feel is a good price for that?
I think a lot of these dealerships, it's like the price is the price, and it's like it's set, and you don't want it. There's the door. I hate to say it, but
Wait a minute. You just said earlier you liked that about Saturn.
I did too. I did, but that wasn't. Here's the thing: let me rephrase that. You're buying a car. You go to the let's just say a used car. Okay, you go buy there's the internet price, because nowadays everything's internet driven. Sad to say, you're buying the car. There's the price. It's $20,999. 21,000 plus tax and license. You get there, and all of a sudden it's 21,999 plus. They got the plastic, this and that, and they got the permaplate, and all of a sudden it's like whoa. That wasn't on the advertised price of the car. That now it's like plus this, plus that, plus that. I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what you're saying there. Like, what after you come in?
Yeah, when you come in because you want to buy the car. The car is 21 grand plus tax.
I tried to tell you that earlier. When
And
it's
then
online, probably a loser.
And then they pitch it.
It's a loser price.
So
they're just trying to add some money back in to try to make a profit so they can make a commission.
No, I get what they're doing, but as a customer, why should they care?
Most of the time they don't, but we still have to take that shot.
Yeah, I get it, but I know a lot of dealerships that stick to their guns and it's like if you don't want it, then don't buy it. But that's
actually going on right now. Like since 2008, in 2008 when the towers fell and the markets crashed, the car business flipped. I've watched it for 30 years, so I know what I'm talking about. It's the first time that we sold out of fear. Nobody was coming into dealerships, so dealerships went into the give it away mode. Give it away. And it was just fear. Well, now it's 13 years later, and now it's the dealerships back in control. There's a seller's market out there right now.
Oh, there's no inventory right now.
Everything's gone for sticker now.
A sticker. Are you guys on the East Coast? There's no inventory. I mean, I drive by these dealerships. There's no car.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So now they're able to sell and hold all the money.
Right.
They're not giving it away anymore.
I
Finally.
remember in the early like when the crash in 8-9, people were renting leasing Mercedes like C-class cars for $279 a month. You were getting a Mercedes Benz, which was for $279 a month. Now a C-class is not a really big car, but it's
Give
still
it away, man.
Yeah, and now that car is $500 plus a month, and people would come back 3 years later and going, "Well, I want the same car, and not only do I want the same car, but I want it for less than what I paid last time." And they were giving you like the go pound sand. It's like
I want to be 6'3" with a full head of hair. That ain't happening.
Oh, wow. I mean, but this is what drives me so crazy with the car business, because it's so unpredictable and people get used to this stuff, especially the misers and these people that want to drive Mercedes Benz at a Kia price, and they got to do that back in 2009 and 8, and all of a sudden you're paying back to Mercedes prices. Like, not everyone can drive a Mercedes.
That's right. That's exactly what's happening right now. Everything's at a premium.
Wow.
So
It's
a long time in the waiting for that.
It's I don't know. I don't mind. It's such a volatile like playground, and that's what makes it so difficult to me, because nobody knows whether they're getting really bent over or they're it is what it is, and you're just doing business. I mean, and everybody's so on guard.
Yeah, you know what? I pride myself on trying to make that process as easy as possible, make people laugh, have a good time with it, and have no regrets of that purchase. It's when that person that gets a hold of them when they get home or get in their ear and just blow the people up. They went from happy to being like now questioning what they did.
Wow.
We call them the sea lawyer. You know that.
Let's talk about exactly what you do now. You don't work at a dedicated dealership, correct?
Not anymore. No, I'm a contracted salesman. They fly me all over the country. We do events at dealerships, and we do mailers, and we sell a lot of cars in a 6 to 7 day period.
That's really strange, because I never heard of that. Like, you have a crew, right, that goes to different car sales and different dealerships all over the country. And
All over the country.
Wow. And
I work for four different teams I'll run with. And if you don't want to go, you don't go. If you do go, you commit to going, you better show. You're not there, you're fired. It's a one shot, one deal. A lot of money. There's a lot of money at stake. So when you commit to going, you've got to go. But if you don't commit to going, nobody cares. You're not fired. I can keep that job forever. There's teams I didn't run with for 5 months now. All you do is make a phone call and I'm in.
Wow. Bill,
You made a movie out of it too. You ever see the movie The Goods?
No.
With Jeremy Piven, the Chinese guy from Hangover's in it?
I like him. I like him from Entourage, but he's
the movie's called The Goods.
Really?
That's what we do.
Okay. Well, again, it just, I'm sure it shows every aspect of what you do. And that's what, to me, what makes people scared sometimes, because you're just good at what you do. And they're so scared of getting, robbed. Like they feel like you're going to just take them to the cleaners.
Well, I make a lot of money when I was in that business full time. And people always said, Steve, how do you sleep at night? You know what? I sleep like a baby because it's not about profit. Like people don't know what you made. So the only time in my career that I learned that how you fuck someone is when you don't do what you say you're going to do. So if you promise them something, you deliver it. If you don't, then you can say, yep, I fucked them. But price is never, ever the reason, because nobody knows the value of a car.
Wow. See, that's the thing. Okay, so you're getting to people promising. I know there's a lot of people that promise a lot of stuff and don't deliver, which once again gives the car business a bad name. And you never see that guy again because he moved on to some other place. But you have to bear the burden. You were talking about surveys. It's the biggest bunch of the manufacturers are living in a dream world. They have to have pens, and I was told, please, the salesman's begging to please do the survey. It's important for my job. It's like,
you don't want to know why?
What kind of freaking la land are they living in?
What, the salesman?
No, the manufacturers.
Here's the facts behind the survey. The facts behind a survey is nobody in that manufacturer gives two shits if you're happy or not. That's about money. The surveys go down, the manufacturer loses 40, 50, 60, 70, $100,000 because they fell below the national average. That's what the manufacturer gets to say because of surveys. They don't give two shits if you're happy or sad. That's why the salesman is so aggressive about getting that survey in with hundreds on it.
But it's all bullshit driven. It's not real.
100% bullshit.
So who's believing that? Edmunds? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just
nobody. Well, none of the car guys believe it. They know it's horse shit. But the customers, you know, they got your paycheck in your hand with that survey. It's all about money. That survey only affects two people, the salesman and the owner of that dealership. The manufacturer could give two craps if you're unhappy about your service.
And yet it makes or breaks a dealership too.
That's correct. You're talking about 50, 100 grand at the end of the month. Back money.
These are the things that like nobody really, as a customer, you know, why should you give a shit? And then you got your salesman hounding you, please, please, please. You know, I'm trying to take good care of you. And then you got the salesman that, you know, they're just not up to par and they don't. And you get, or they make a mistake and they give you a bad survey. You know, I mean, you thought you had them because the floor was dirty.
That's right. Did you see my video on that?
I saw your video.
Tear them up.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Fucking right. It's the truth.
Like it's your fault. And they gave you, and so you failed. And then, you know, these people, they get fired or moved on. And then you suffer the consequences because you're in there for the long haul.
And what did it accomplish? Nothing.
Nothing.
Who did it get hurt? It hurt the salesman only.
Wow.
And the man, and the owner of the dealership.
All right. So look, is it safe to say,
and all the managers.
Correct me if I'm wrong though, but is it say, in my opinion, is buying a car a pain in the ass? I mean, you know, regardless whether it's fun, for what it takes. Look, I think I could buy a house with less hassle than buying a car.
No way.
Way.
Now,
let me tell you why.
So much to do. You got termite inspections, all that horse shit.
Let me tell you why.
What?
You go to buy a house, okay? I like this house. Wow, it's a great house. How much you want for it? $1,249. Okay, I'll make an offer. Make an offer. There it is. There's no. Let me go talk to my manager. And there's no. Oh, and by the way, I mean, I get it. Closing.
Talk to the owner of the house.
Well, yeah. Okay, so they either say yes or no. There's no like, you know, and there's not really as much of an angle. It's this one.
The realtor can't answer that question.
Well, that is true. But the thing, I don't know. I just feel like, okay, I guess closing, it just seems like you're much more out of the loop when it comes to closing and escrow and this and that. Like they do it, and you're not walking from one place to get bent over after another place. You know, it's either here it is, coming in, buy it, and you know, 30 days later you have a house. But you have a house.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get into the house.
Sorry, I'm devil's advocate. I'm sorry. You know,
that house thing's a bunch of horse shit too. We've been delivered the wrong promise on that one. How the hell is that a thing to do?
Look, I don't know. I'm just here to do a show and
don't get me started on buying a house.
Let me get you started on something.
Talk about losing your ass.
I know. Well, yes and no. I mean, look,
no, there's no well.
What? I don't think houses are bad. I think cars are. You know, you don't buy cars to try to make money. You buy cars because they're tools.
Most appreciating asset you'll ever own.
There you go. Okay.
But you know what? After 10 years of paying taxes on the house that you own,
yeah,
where's the savings?
I don't know if there's savings, but it's your house. I mean, well, the bank's house or whatever, however you want to look at it. But the thing is, if you sold it, you hopefully should not be losing money unless you're in a bad market, which you just don't.
Well, the taxes in South Jersey right now are $11,000 on the house I just moved out of.
No, I
in 10 years, you're talking about $110,000 just in taxes.
No, East Coast taxes are freaking horrible. That's why we moved.
If your house is worth $300,000 in 30 years, all the interest you paid on that house plus 30 years of taxes. I mean, how's that mathematically a good buy?
Because you don't think when you sell it that the margin of it's going to be worth a lot more.
How much could it be worth more? Double?
Dude, look, we sold our house. We were in Connecticut, in East Haven, Connecticut, and it was commercial real estate, but it was a residential home. And we sold it in 1977 for $42,000, okay? A corner lot. and I dare say that thing was probably more than now. Again, it's 40 years ago, but a $500,000 or more.
But it's 40 years of times that by the taxes for 40 years you paid.
Yeah, I don't know what the taxes were, so I can't.
It was 10,000. You're talking about 400,000.
My old man left because he was tired of paying because it was a nice area, but Connecticut has its beauty, but the taxes were crazy. But then again, here I am living in California.
Not to mention the hundreds of thousands you put into the house over the 40 years.
Yes. All right, now you're.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Now I'm sad again. I'm sad again.
That's stupid.
Hey, let's yeah, no, it's okay. I want to turn the table. We're run again. The time flies quicker than I really wanted it to be. I want to get, if you don't mind, I'd like to switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about Steve Corsey a little bit. Okay. I mean, the man behind the 30 years plus of being a car guy. What made you go on to TikTok and start all this stuff?
I actually got two little ones. Well, now my daughter's 20, Kaylee.
Yeah.
And my son Jared, he's 16 now. So.
I
mean, they were doing this TikTok thing. I was like, what is that? And I started looking at it. I was like, man, that's awesome. You made these videos? He's like, yeah. I said, I want to do that. So she made me an account and she goes, what do you want your username to be? And I said, just put my dad. So when you see my videos, you can say, that's my dad. Well, that name was taken. So I said, well, do our number. Me and my children, 317 is a big time number. That's the day my father passed away. It was March 17th.
How long ago?
1994.
Oh, damn.
93. I apologize. 93.
Died young.
Yeah, he did. 56, man. I'm a year older than what he was.
Yeah.
So he was a young man, but what a great man he was. Every day in my life, 317 comes into my life. No matter what happens, whether it's a receipt, time, or something throughout my day, 317 pops up every day. Yeah. Well, that's now happening for my children.
Yeah.
And so we added my dad 317 on there.
Wow. And you just started TikTok.
What's that?
You just started a TikTok.
I did. So I made a couple of videos. Everybody starts out with their dog or a cat. Everyone with their videos, if you look at their very first videos, it's always with an animal. Well, I did the same thing without knowing. And then I made the car video about not getting fucked in a car dealership. Did you see that one?
I'm sure I have, but
I'll give you the live version.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen.
Some people had to get fucked in their bedroom or maybe a hotel. Or if you got it that way, maybe the back of a bus. But the last place you want to get fucked is in a car dealership. So follow me, my dad 317. I'll give you my 32 years experience, and I'll show you how to walk your hair, not doing the walk of shame.
Wow. Yeah.
I got 1.4 million views.
Well, again, that's what I was kind of taken back because, again, my TikTok, I just go on TikTok. I really don't work on it, and my shows are long, and I don't jump off of buildings, and so it sucks. But I do watch, and that's how you caught my eye. And I saw that, and I saw your daughter too, and she was kind of participating in your stuff, or somehow or another. She was, because my daughter does not give a shit about my show. I mean, she's 15 and she thinks I'm stupid. It's like,
my daughter was the same way until I went viral. Now she hates me.
Well, I mean, today, unfortunately, I had a discussion because we did this morning. I was out because I had to take her to do her horse chores, and I included her horse in the
promo. That.
Okay, so the thing was, she looked at me when we were leaving. She goes, I'm going to need Apollo's going to need some residuals on you every time you use him for your. And I'm going, you got to be kidding me. And then we got into this conversation. I mean, because again, she's 15. My stuff isn't really for her, so I don't expect her to get me. But I know she loves me, but it's just she just doesn't get it. She thinks
it gets worse. They'll never get us. They don't get us, man.
Yeah. So one day, I mean, maybe with a little bit of luck, but it kind of hurts. But I do understand that. I mean, I didn't do this for her to love what I do. I did it for other people who go, you got to be at our, mental capacity and go through hell and still be here to understand what I do.
I am blessed though. My daughter, she's phenomenal. My son is a good boy.
Good.
So yeah, I got very blessed with that. They're good kids.
Let's talk about going through hell. Married, single, divorce?
Divorce.
Divorce.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, it's not a fun thing. I mean, it's a journey you got to go through if you have to. You come out the other side better than when you went in. That's God's promise.
Yeah, I mean, but and you hope that your children don't get all messed up from all the mess in between. I mean, it looks like things are going really well. Like your kids are still, really in good shape throughout the whole thing.
They are. They're. We made sure of that. That's something they. No, they're in good shape with that. They respect both parents. There's a rule about that divorce, and not to talk shit on each other.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes people,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
That's how I started this
world.
I started this show because of all that. I mean, I wear divorce and single parenting on my sleeve, and I get deep into that certain shows. But again, this live stuff is called Life with PeterG, and we talk about everything. But the thing is, I was more about the kids getting all messed up because it's not their fault and things happen. But do you talk to your ex?
I do.
Oh, see, as opposed to, again, some people just don't have that luck and have that relationship.
Didn't have that for a long time, though. It takes time.
You're very lucky.
It takes time. So,
yeah.
Like I said, everything works out in the end. It just takes time.
Well, you can only hope. But I mean, unfortunately, not everybody is so fortunate. And I have seen and talked to enough people to where life, it's everybody has a different story, and that's why we try to share these stories, because at the same time, a lot of people can relate to the stories that you're telling, and they think it's just them going through this crap. But
no, it's a serious thing to go through. You and as men, we're not allowed to talk about it. You got to be strong, bury that deep. Don't talk to nobody. Move on. But it's definitely a process.
Do you think that's right to just not talk to anything, to talk about it?
Absolutely not. We do need each other to talk to as men.
All right, because yesterday you just kind of hit on me a little bit about something like that. I'm going, and I go, I don't feel bad one bit about talking to people about stuff, because we're just human. We're just because we're men. I mean, we're men, but we are. You know what? The suicide rate on men is so much stronger. Oh, I see you pointing a finger.
That's right.
Yeah, sad but true.
Very true. I know that line. I've seen that line. I didn't cross it, but I've seen that line.
Well, see, because I understand also the point when people see red and cross that line, when I was going through, I tell this story a lot, but it's the truth. It's like I was so fed up, I wanted to drive my truck through my house because she was driving me that crazy over nonsense. Because but that one piece of stability in my head told me not to do it, but a lot of people just don't. They blow through that, and
they're sitting behind bars right now because they didn't filter that. And that's a shame, because they've had somebody to talk to that could have altered that moment.
And that's why we're here, and that's what I again, I do that a lot. And and
there's some videos on my TikToks with the depression thing.
Really?
They're real. I mean, like that's really happening at that time.
I think it's important that people need to know that it's okay to talk about this stuff. It's like, you can still be pretty friggin' strong and you can be tough, but there's, there's nobody, I don't think, that doesn't feel any pain. And if they hold it all in, it's like you're going to be a pressure cooker and you're going to explode.
Correct. Yeah, right? We've all seen that too.
I continually thank God for all the people in my life that I had that I just threw up all over, and they just let me go because I just needed to let it out. And we're all still here. You get over it, but you just have to do what you have to do to get to where you're going. And
you're a good dude for bringing that up, man. That's a really good thing to bring up and let people know that they're not alone, man.
It's very important to me. I mean, that is probably, I get off course with this show. I do find different things, and we touch on different, I like a little bit of laughter. I like some stupidity, but there's a lot of my shows that are very, very, to a matter of fact, to those points. I mean, from narcissism, people dealing with depression and all that kind of stuff. But there's times when I need to mix it up. Because I feel I'm kind of versatile. I can talk about to the biggest musician in the world, and I can talk about things that are very important to, like, keeping your act together, because you got children that depend on you. And life's a bitch, you know. It's not that easy, but
I was told a long time ago, very good friend of mine on the road, Richard Lamore, and I never forgot his words. He said, Steve, you got to take care of yourself through this process because you need your children to recognize you when you come through the other side. So start taking care of yourself mentally and physically.
Right.
And you know what? He's 100% right.
Dude, I can easily tell you how easy it could have been to drink yourself under the table.
Correct. And that's what he meant by that. Like, you know, he saw me going down a path. And he goes, you want those children to recognize you. And I went, wow.
Yeah.
Very powerful words.
And you know, I'm sure, I don't know. I mean, just in this short period of time that I've been talking to you through the past few months, I live for my daughter. I mean, she's everything to me, and I can tell that your kids are everything to you, you know?
Right.
So it's a big deal. But
on that same note, like I'm kind of weaning off of that. So I got to start living for me now.
Well, that's
they're at that age now where they're doing their own thing. Like they're not 12 and 13 anymore.
I know.
So they're in a world where I'm not really invited, which is normal.
Yeah.
Did you want your father there when you were 18 and 17?
Yeah. No, I get it.
They're becoming their own man, their own woman now.
Yeah.
So now I got to get it back on track. It's my turn to work on me now.
When my dad 317 got his groove back.
Right?
Well, but the thing is, you did what you had to do because you had to do it.
That's correct.
That's a sacrifice. You know what I mean? I stopped dead in my tracks, everything, because that baby needed me then, you know, and now you're right. I mean, there's some certain things that come out of her mouth. I'm going, shit, don't ask, don't tell. You know, I don't want to know, you know, because she's not stupid. I mean, remember when we were 15, we knew way too much.
Not as much as they know, man. I'm telling you, with all these videos and shit, the only information we got as kids was from our teachers or our parents or our friends.
Yeah.
Other than that, the information was like very little back then.
I don't know.
Learn by doing.
My old man told me when we moved from Connecticut to Florida, he said, I superseded the kids in Florida by a milestone because I grew up around some, you know, way more adult times, I guess, over in Connecticut than when I moved to Florida.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my old man wasn't stupid. He knew, you know, but God bless him. I mean, he somehow managed to not kick my ass every day and just tolerate all that stuff. And I survived. I'm here. And thank God for them and their guidance. And they made decisions, even though I didn't agree with them as a kid. But I do now. I mean, they you know, but just like everything. Anyway, it's all good. Look. We could not do this and talk about car stuff without talking about the man behind the car stuff. And I appreciate you just sharing some of the deep stuff. And again, maybe another time you can come on and we can talk about other stuff. But right now we're running out of time. And
Pete, I would love to, man. I really enjoyed talking with you. I could talk to you all night, brother.
If you got things that are really pertinent that you feel that need to come out, that has to do with people, that things that they can relate to, it doesn't have to be the car business. I just happen to hit you because of you're so popular with the whole car thing on TikTok. But if there's things that are important, and you just give me a buzz and say, Peter, you know what? I think this is important. We'll see what we can do because you're easy to talk to. You're pretty a matter of fact. And life is short, and people a lot of times just need to know that, again, they're not alone, and we all share this stuff. So
yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. I want to play one more clip that I have, and then we'll just say our goodbyes. But let me go find it real.
Oh boy, which one?
I don't know. Just hang on. Here you go. Just sit back and enjoy.
Okay, Pete, you like the car. Let's go over the numbers. Now, I know how underhanded and slimy your car salesman can be, so give me your best price, Steve. Just give me your best price. Okay, Pete, $37,689. Are you out of your fucking mind? That's $7,000 over sticker. I asked you to give me your best price. That is my best price. It's actually a great price. Oh, you wanted your best price. See, you asked me for my best price. Jerk off.
I mean,
jerk off.
I mean, but the thing is, again, how do you? Everybody wants, they give me your best price. I don't want to go back and forth. I don't want you the minute and you've talked a lot about people, just standing up and saying thank you for your time. Well, what do you? It's a game, and everybody knows it. But why does this game have to be played?
Dude, I got to say, when you said stand up, that is my hallmark. Anytime I worked in a dealership, and they say I'm legendary. I don't know about that. But that move, anytime a customer stood up at my desk, all the salesmen around would see it and they go, man, of course he's got a fucking deal. As soon as they stand up, that's
Why?
when you start, because you pushed them to that point.
Yeah, and they're leaving.
The moment they stand up and start yelling, my voice goes lower. The next thing you know, I've got them calm down. They'll sit back down, and about 4 minutes later, we're shaking hands. That's my signature move, man.
What about when they're going to they're like, okay, thank you for your time, I'm leaving, and then you have to go chase them at their car, which is like a signature, like it's just a part of the game, and people hate that stuff. Like, why
I don't chase it. I don't.
Neither. Okay, I get that,
But okay. I'll let them go. I'll let them go.
Yeah.
And I'm just be like, and I'll go, and I'll just let them go. Once they get to the car, then I'll go out. Let them have their freedom. Let them think they're leaving. Let them just settle down. You know, I love the game. I just love the game.
You're again. You either got to have it in your blood or you don't. Because the thing is, it's like in my mind, if I was getting up and walking away, and I went to my car, and then all of a sudden I'm getting in the car, and then your manager suddenly changes his mind and makes you go chase after me while I'm pulling out, and I got to park my car again. It's like, why the fuck couldn't you just tell me that? There I go. I'm getting upset now. I'm serious, because it's like, why couldn't you just do that so we could just do this and get it over with?
Because we're trying to make a profit.
I get it, but do you think they actually lose?
Dealerships?
Yeah,
sure they do.
I don't see them closing down.
No. In the big picture, no.
Yeah.
But per deal,
they
make losers throughout the entire month. But when you add them all together and divide it by the units, you get an average cost per copy.
I get it, but somehow or another, between service and this and that, it all works out, doesn't it?
For the owner.
Yeah. Not for the salesman.
But the truth is, they do rate losers throughout the month. Yes, they do.
Fair enough. Anything you want to say with your wisdom to close out the show tonight that you want to tell my 3 or 3 million, 6 million, whatever I've been corrected, 6 million, whatever the hell it is. Anything you want to say worth?
No, I got no words of wisdom on that. Don't put me on a spot like that. I got to come up with something good. I got nothing.
Come on.
No, I just want to say, everybody out there that I worked with in the car business for 33 years, it was an absolute pleasure running on the floor with all of you.
Wow. All right. Damn, I thought you would have something in your pocket to
I didn't see that coming.
Sorry. It's all good.
Words of wisdom. I'm a car salesman. I got no words of wisdom.
I know, but listen, I don't know. I think there's some funny in all those situations. I mean, you always got there's always something to make you laugh, to get you through the day.
Listen, I got a 7th grade education according to my documents. Me stumbling into the car business,
right,
was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because I was projected to make $19,000 an hour if I got a Mr. Softy route. You know?
Yeah. Do they still have Mr. Softy?
They do.
They do.
Yes, they do.
Are they hiring?
No. But I stumbled into the car world. Listen, there's certain ways to get paid in this country. You can go under the table. You got hourly, you got salary, and you got commission. Yeah. And that's the car business. Your potential of earning is unlimited. So the only limitations you have are the ones you put on yourself.
I know. But again, I still think that's the 80-20. I don't think every car guy has that luxury of being that guy.
They didn't meet I met the right guy. You know what I mean? If I didn't meet that guy, I would have never had the mentality that I did. That's why I spent 33 years as a salesman. I'm not one day a manager, which means I committed to doing what I was going to do.
Right.
And that's the key in anything. I'm telling you. Like when you said you were in the business a little bit, like you never committed to that.
Right.
You did it because that's something you had to do at that time. But imagine if you committed to that and honed your skills. Potential of earning is unlimited. I'm telling you, back before the crash of 2008, it's documented. I'm making $15,000 to $20,000 a month. I've had such a following after 19 years of being at the same place.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's everybody just kept coming back and back. I'm selling 1 to 4 cars a day. And in the crash of '08, we shut down.
I know guys that are making 15 grand a month now, you know, and but they live there, and that's their. And I mean, you're totally committed. You're right, but you know, there's more to life than just living there.
True. Yeah, it's a 70-hour job.
And here's the thing. I also remembered when I met some people, because I had to change my lifestyle. And then we got to get out of here. It's getting late. But I remember it because I remember like general managers and going, and because when I pitched my story, it was like, I have a little girl. I'm having to change my career because I need to stay home. I need to find something to do. And he goes, yeah. He says, you know, I worked a lot. I was never around much because I was always working. The car business, you're always working. The friggin' weekends, the holidays, the this, the that. And you know, and it's like, maybe they don't know what they would have missed raising their children. I mean, and yes, it facilitated to raise their children, but I didn't want to give that up. I wanted to be there with my child. And it was just, I don't know, now going through what I went through, it was worth every sacrifice and maybe not making money. I don't know.
Right. No, I get it. I woke them up in the morning, got them ready for school or daycare, wherever it was. Yeah. Did that, and then went to work, came home. Be lucky if they were up. Yeah. So no, I missed all the dinners. I missed all the, you know, the daily, what you do in school kind of stuff. But you know what? My job as a man was to provide that life to where they could go to school. Yeah,
there's pros and cons to everything. I'm just bringing up all that stuff because it, you know, I know a lot of people that would told me these stories and they go, I was never around much because I was always working. And I'm going, you know, I don't know if every dollar was that necessary because a child, you know, that if you give them a cardboard, I remember I bought my daughter this electric Vespa scooter, you know, when she was
loved the box.
Yeah, she played in the box. She played with the box, and she loved the scooter, but the box was huge, and she had just as much fun with that cardboard box that she did as a scooter. And you know,
but when I did have the time off. It was game on, man.
Oh, I get it, dude. I'm just asking because I remember other stories from other people because again, I've unfortunately touched the fire.
Yeah. You're a good man, Peter.
Thank you. Right back at you. Okay, so listen, let's catch back up anytime there's anything on your mind. You got my number. Always feel free. My door is open. Book policy, but you know,
I appreciate you, Pete.
It's all good. My dad 317 TikTok. My dad, Steve Corsey, car guy. I hope you can, you know, keep on coming up with stuff to kick people in the nuts with. I think you're very in people's faces. I mean, you know, I'm sure you piss off a lot of people, but yet help a lot of people at the same time. They don't want to hear it.
It's not a perfect world.
Well, it isn't. That's for sure. You can't please everybody, right?
No, sir.
All right, listen. Thank you for staying up late on the East Coast. I know it's very late over there, and for being so upfront and honest with us. And I hope this show lives on and brings you. Again, I told you earlier that the show will be going like a snowball. It picks up snow, and who knows? But I'll be looking forward to seeing what's going on with you in the future. And again, if you ever need anything, just ring my bell. All right, brother.
All right, love you, man.
All right, I love you. Peace out. I'll see you later. There you have it. TikTok, my dad 317. Look him up. God, time just goes. I had more questions I want to ask him, but it just, you know. All right, people. Time is flying. Time is flying. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, watching, staying up. If you didn't watch it tonight, you're watching it after the fact. I want to thank you anyway. Let me change things up around here. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. If be a guest on my show. Speaking of being a guest on my show, if anybody's got anything of worth and you want to be on my show, I want you to contact us. All right? info@petergshow.com. That's right. Because had I not said certain things like that, we would not be having on the show next week gambling addiction. All bets are off. This is a book by Arnie and Sheila Wexler and Steve Jacobson. And we're going to talk to them next week about gambling addiction. I didn't think about it, but, you know, gambling addiction, that's a serious thing too. Make or break you. I just never, you know, you think about drug addiction and all things like that, but gambling addiction, I only because I don't personally know people that are addicted to gambling, but apparently there's a lot, and it kind of makes sense. And These little things can kill you. It destroys families. You can go broke and live out on the streets because of gambling. You can't stop gambling. So we're going to talk to them next week. And I would not have been able to be doing this show next week had I not asked for the same thing. I said, you want to be a guest on my show? You have something worth talking about? Let us know. And that's how they contacted us. Because, again, we're worldwide. info@petergshow.com. Say, hey, Peter, I think this is worth talking about. Let me know. Let me know. I want to thank everybody for watching. Next week, again, gambling addiction. I've got so much stuff that I want to talk about personally, but this month we are already booked with guests and things, and but we got to get back to, I want to talk about life. If you want to talk about life, let me know what's going on in your life. I opened up the phone lines. Nobody wanted to call, and I kept forgetting to keep repeating myself to talk to Steve. But I think Steve covered a lot of bases and a lot of things that we don't normally talk about. So I hope it was worth it to you. It was definitely worth it to me. Again, I'll remind you guys, we're here every Sunday night, 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 Central, 11:30 on the East Coast, where Steve was at in New Jersey. Be kind. Can't say that enough. You don't have to take a bunch of shit from people, but don't be an asshole. Just be kind, man. Life is short. I thank my God every day for when I at least waking up, and I get thrown a lot of curveballs. We all do. But I'm still here. We're still here. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. So please, take care of yourselves. Because life is for the living. A lot of people go through a lot of hell and things go wrong, and what are you going to do? But we all get through it. All right. So till next week, I'll see you guys again. And as always, I love you guys. Peace out. It's Peter G Show. See you next week.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad. Divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.